Welcome to episode 40 of the Torreya Guardians video series. I'm Connie Barlow, and this is in January 2026. Episode 40 features the world's first video documentation of a squirrel eating a seed of the endangered Florida Torreya tree, Torreya taxifolia. I captured this video and more on the front porch of my apartment here in Ypsilanti, Michigan in November 2025. The yellow circle on the map shows my location. Despite Torreya taxifolia having been left behind in the panhandle of Florida since glaciers retreated from Michigan and other northeastern states, our citizen group, Torreya Guardians, has demonstrated some success in assisted migration of this tree even this far north. For example, here are a couple of the dozen Torreyas growing under a deciduous canopy in the thumb of Michigan. And here are winter and summer views of one of a pair of Torreyas growing at the home of our volunteer planter near Grand Rapids, Michigan. What is obvious in all these photos is the importance of caging the Torreyas, notably against our native deer, overpopulated and very hungry. In a woodland near where I live, I experimented unsuccessfully with planting germinated Torreya seeds directly into a woodland nearby, with no caging. I planted a half dozen seeds under this tree fall and elsewhere without tree falls. After 3 years, only the seed I planted at this spot survived herbivory from voles, rabbits, woodchucks, and deer. I think the camouflage provided by the Japanese barberry, at the right in this photo, played a crucial role in success this far. But that kind of failure is okay. We're learning something. The main role I play as a volunteer in Torreya Guardians was setting up our website back in 2005. It is now 2026, and I'm still webmaster. Documenting all our experiments, reporting results, and learning from academic papers and other sources are what this website is for. If you haven't visited TorreyaGuardians.org before, I suggest you start with our chronological reports page. Once there, scroll down to November 2025. There, Dijon Guit reports on collecting seeds at 2 homes in central North Carolina, and that's where we always collect seeds in the fall. Under that, you'll see seeds collected by Fred Bess from Torreyas he planted long ago at his home in Cleveland, Ohio. My last visit to Fred's home in Cleveland was October 2018. There, my husband and I captured video of Fred and the 3 mature Torreyas in his front yard. The one you see here is a female, and has been producing seeds ever since. Next to her is an unusual Torreya. It has 2 vertical stems. The tallest is male, and to its right, what Fred just reached in to hold turned out to be a female, producing seeds several years later. This is the male Torreya, at least for now. All its branches produce pollen, not seeds. But Torreya Guardians have documented elsewhere that males sometimes will shift 1 or more branches into the female form, especially on branches that get a lot of sun. By the way, Fred's big success against deer is partly because the Torreyas are right next to a 5-lane road. Finally, you may have noticed that each of the Torreya has a beige bag hanging about deer height. The smelly contents are understood to repel deer. You'll see the bag on this little Torreya too, right in the center of the picture. This Torreya is behind Fred's house, in a menagerie of other plants. It will never turn into a tree, always a shrub, as Fred acquired this specimen as a rooted branchlet of a Torreya, not a specimen growing from seed. This is also a female Torreya, and in autumn of 2025, it produced the most seeds ever. In this image, the seed batch labeled number 1 was harvested end of October 2025 from the shrubby Torreya. Batch number 2 came from the unusual female stem on the otherwise male Torreya. Batch number 3 came from the fully female tree. Fewer seeds from that female because the prior year was a monstrously huge crop of seeds from that tree. Now, notice the topmost photo. Those are seeds fallen to the ground beneath the shrub Torreya. By the time Fred went out to pluck seeds by hand off of the 2 female stems in the front yard, the shrub Torreya had already dropped most of its seeds to the ground, and the fleshy covering on those exposed to the sun had really dried out, as September-October were drought months here in the Great Lakes states. For this reason, Fred delivered seeds to me November 2025 in 3 individual bags, a portion from each of the 3 females for me to distribute after a winter stratification. In previous years, he had just mixed them all into a single bag, like seen here, November 2023, in my living room. So that gave me a chance to experiment. Here you will see 8 ripe seeds from the large female, with the fleshy sarcotesta still whole and moist. Here I removed the fleshy covering from those 8 seeds, revealing healthy brown seeds. Here I've taken these 8 and I've put them in a bowl with water. Several of them are pretty low down. The rest of them are kind of floating to where there's only about maybe a quarter of them showing above the surface. It's hard to see here. If I get down at a little different angle, that'll probably help. Yeah. And then you can see in contrast to them, look at the ones over there on the upper left, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then one to the far right. And those are definitely floating, more than half of themselves above the surface. And those were also the ones where the skin was just the hardest to get off. They dried off. They'd come off the shrub and had really fallen earlier than the other ones. The taller trees had ripened their seeds, and so the seeds kind of dried out a little bit. They're a bit more blondish than this really stark, what I call a beautiful brown. That's how I've always noticed. And even though it's kind of blonde now, what I find out is that after the first winter, the ones that turn gray when they're dry, when you pull off and they're dry, the ones that turn gray, they're the ones that when I open them up, they're obviously, they're gone. They're either just liquidy inside or outright kind of a mold. Whereas the ones that are still beautiful brown, they're good. They're good. But this is the first time I've tested the differences in floating right away, right after I remove the fleshy seed coat, sarcotesta of them. Over on the left and in the middle, all of those are the 6 seeds that were just floating in that blonde kind of color, very more lightweight feeling. And so I used a nutcracker and cracked them open. It was very easy. The seeds inside had so dried up that they were easy to pull out. They weren't attached to the seed casing anymore. And the one in the lower center, that one is just so white on the outside. I wanted to show that, so I didn't cut it open. Now, the one in the lower left, that one actually has that red at the top. That's where the germination will take place. That's under the pointy, always the pointiness part has that. And since I saw that, I realized that probably is healthy, would have been healthy. And I cut off the bottom of it just to its right, rather than lengthwise through it, because I wanted it to stand up so that the red tip could be seen. And the other ones above it too, I'm not going to give up on those blonde ones. I will test them out separately, and the blondest of them, and keep them in a separate container. It'll take 2 winters probably. But I will keep photographic track on whether any of them actually can germinate, because it's not liquid inside. It's not rotten yet. It's just kind of dried out, but still looking okay. And then over on the right, I just wanted to show for scale how much flesh there is. And to the right of the two, I put one, the only one I was willing to crack. I don't want to sacrifice too many of the real healthy ones. But what's typical, when they're healthy, and I use a nutcracker, it's really hard to pull pieces of that seed off. I usually have to crack it a few times in order to pull the seed casing off. And that one has gorgeous red at the tip. That's why I've got it standing up next to those other two. So the experiment will continue, but I'm thankful for having so many seeds where I could do this kind of experiment, because I've learned a lot. And I will add these photographs to the propagation webpage so others can learn from them too. Here's how I chose to winter stratify the seeds this year, rather than trying to put them out into the forest deep enough where the squirrels and woodchuck wouldn't get to them, which has happened in the past. So these I have in my refrigerator. And so you can see in front here, those 4, first of all, those 4 are the size to fit in my second shelf, the eggs and cheese and so forth. And that one there is the one that fits on the top shelf with milk bottles and so forth. And Fred Bess suggests that they not experience the on and off light of a refrigerator. So especially the ones in the half and half containers are really secure from that. And that one there too is pretty immune to light. Also because I have sphagnum moss here. You can see that sphagnum moss is packed in layers in there. And this one here, this comes off of the female shrubby Torreya tree in Cleveland. And 140 of them were the, I judged poor, the bone colored and tough to pull off skin. And then 299 were the best of these. So far more best than ones that probably won't work. But that I'm going to experiment with that. I'll see whether they actually can germinate. But it's going to take 2 winter stratifications for any but a very few to germinate after just 1 winter stratification. So here you can see the big female. Fred sent me 136 of the big female seeds. Again, I just got a portion. He sends out a whole lot himself. The Ohio twin, that's the one that's the double male and female. I had 134, and then 3 that look kind of bad. I put it in foil, but I just want to see how that works. And here you can see I couldn't fit them all in this size, so I had to put 150 of the twin in this one. And then in this container, this actually has ones from Clinton and Mount Olive up there and Ohio, and these are 2024 harvest seeds. So this is going to be their second winter. And this one was 2023 Mount Olive, and so this is going to be after 3 winters. Just the few I had left that hadn't germinated from that Mount Olive batch. So that's what I do here, and I'll be distributing some of the seeds in the spring, and some I'll just hold over for a second winter stratification. Oh, and I just moved this in to show you too. Here you can really see the sphagnum moss on top, keeping it moist but not too wet. This is pawpaw, so I also have pawpaw stored in here. This is 2025 seeds that came from Mark Boone's pawpaw orchard that my brother helped me collect this past November. Or was it December? No, I think it was November. Early December, actually, yeah. And then here, these are also pawpaw. But these are from 2024 harvest that didn't germinate yet. And from previous experiments I've done, I've found that some do not germinate after 1 winter, but will after 2. So this is a continuation of my pawpaw experiments. And as you can see, I have to be pretty conservative on how much food I put into this rather small refrigerator here. One more thing about Torreya seeds needing 2 winter stratifications. Our Torreya volunteer in northwest Wisconsin put freshly harvested seeds directly into the ground of his forest and found that several required 4 winters that far north before they were willing to push a seedling above ground. I tend to think that's nothing to complain about. Rather, the only reason this ancient tree genus, some 150 million years old, could survive volcanic winters lasting several years, and certainly the end Cretaceous meteor impact, is that there are always some seeds dormant in the ground, maintaining dormancy so long as the ground is cold. Okay, time to close off this video with 20 minutes of my fox squirrel friends here on my front porch, showing me what they think about a tree seed they have never experienced before. The experiment runs from November 24th through 26th of 2025. Enjoy. Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah, I know. That's so much tastier. Yeah. The 2 on the left started out blonde with tight skin and now are very, very lightweight. The 2 in the center come off the old female, and their flesh came off, their skin came off very easily. And the one on the right, is a healthy one too, opened up, that displays a bit of the red at the top area where the germination would take place. So I'm going to test these on the squirrels today and see if anybody's interested in anything. Does this look good? What does that look like? No? That doesn't look good? Okay, here. You have your usual. Alright. Yeah, okay. Have your usual. And now I'm going to put this over here. There's still one walnut in it. So I'll be able to see this through the window. Alright, so 2 walnuts, healthy, heavy ones, and these lightweights that I'm sure are bad, but we'll see what happens. Alright, I just went inside, and we'll see if he comes down. Yep. Alright, what are you going to do? Ooh, yeah, I'm going to go for the walnut. Yeah, it's tasty. Ooh. Oh, yes. No. All right, try that one. What? All right, eat the walnut. Ooh, what's that about? Okay. No? Okay, just vanished. Maybe bury it, I hope. There you are. Oh my gosh, are you burying it? You did. Alright, so what we have left is this one was opened up. Let's see, that would have been one of the bone-colored ones, so you can see how removed it is from the shell itself. But it did have red still on it, so that's good. There's another bone-colored one that wasn't opened at all. And this was the healthy one that I opened yesterday, and this one wasn't, nothing was done to it, but I can't see some that were dropped. There's a few shells down here. Oh yeah, there's one that was dropped. Let's take a look at that one. Ooh, that one was opened up quite a bit. Looks like it was sampled. Sampled, tasted, but not eaten. You don't want this one? Yeah, here, let's try it. Let's try it. Yeah, there you go. You can at least bury that one. Wow. No, nothing left in there, but you've shown me what I needed to know, so thank you, darling. That young male this morning was too picky. You want some more walnut? No, you've had enough for today. Yep. Today is November 26, 2025, and this is going to be my experiment for the morning if my favorite girl squirrel actually does come by. Yesterday is when I documented her close-up. First squirrel I've documented really fully eating a Torreya seed. But today what I'm going to be doing is seeing how she responds to the full range of seeds. First of all, I do have a little walnut here, but in this first row are two Torreya seeds with the flesh still on, and then one this morning that I just removed the flesh from. I've been keeping them in the refrigerator. Then next are three that I think are healthy seeds. See, they're nice and brown, that have been out here drying on the table for a couple days. You can't let them dry out for a long time. They'll die, but I just want to see how she responds to those. And then on the bottom here is, gosh, this is about 4 days of, these were the ones that came out bone or black, with very dried on tight skin, so they had dried out. And it's amazing how much lighter they feel than this second row here. I'm pretty sure these are dead, but I want to try them out on the squirrel and see how my favorite girl does. She's the one unmistakable with that short, scrawny tail. She's only one of two squirrels that come by that I recognized from last winter feeding. The other ones have these big bushy tails, they're newbies, and she was able to raise at least two young ones from her early spring brood that she brought over. All right, we'll see what happens. So it seems the big young male had chased her away. But again, there's a 1, 2, 3. There were 4 here. These are the brown good ones. These are the lightweight old ones that probably aren't edible. And these are those, she hasn't yet taken one that has the skin on it. But over here, you can see before the big one chased her off, there's a part of the shell of the one that she ate. Yeah, come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, that was a wise choice. Yeah, he'll let you eat it out there. So there you can see a second one of the beautiful brown ones was taken by her. Let's see if she comes back. She's eating it. Okay, come on. Come on, there's more here for you. Yeah, come on. Yep, there's two more. Okay. Here, let me see if I bring these to you. Let me see if you'll want to take them from my hand. Yeah. Yeah, let's see if I bring these to you. Will you want to take them from my hand? Yeah, there you go. Very good. Very good. Yeah. And what about you? Will you take this one from my hand? No, you don't care about that, do you? Well, nope. Nope. I've never had that before. Nope, forget it. Okay, so we're down to one good one that where I removed the skin from it. So my favorite girl squirrel this morning took 3. Hi there, it's about an hour later, and I'm going to see if she is interested in taking the 4th one. What? No? Yeah, there you go. There you go. What? I don't know. Okay. That's a little walnut I gave you. What did you do? What do you do with the one down there? Oh. It's gone. Huh. Okay, that's enough for today. Yeah. You enjoy that walnut. Yeah. That's the end of episode 40 in the Torreya Guardians video series. To access more videos and a lot of other information about this endangered tree, consult the caption here on YouTube, which also has a time-coded list of all the topics contained in this video. And as always, may the forest be with you.